pollo. Fresita de pollo. Lechuga. Y acá tenemos empanadas.
Sí, empanadas.
Recién estamos cocinando.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
In the last episode, we had entered Argentina and did a few long days of driving. Now we had just about made it to the western border. We were almost to the Andes, but it was still hot where we were, so we decided our best option was to find some water.
We fit perfectly. No problem. Mesquite tree. It's just tall enough for goose. This is where
We found this little track. It was pretty overgrown, and I don't think most people would have even noticed it, and that's exactly what we look for. So with many apologies to Goose along the way for all the pinstriping, we made it to the water's edge. And after the go pace we had kept for the last several days, we were ready to sit back and relax. So that's exactly what we did. We spent the day reading, watching the horses across the river, and just trying to stay cool. Eventually, it was time for dinner.
You got there, Ken?
We've got wine and an Nalgene. This is a white Malbec from the Mendoza region of Argentina. It's best served in a very dirty looking Nalgene. I can tell you it's not dirty though. But it's cold, so we put it in the fridge, and now we have a nice chilled white wine while we're sitting here in the sun. And we love it because we know we love Malbecs, normal red Malbecs, but we figured we'd try this white Malbec, and it is awesome. So.
And we're having hamburgers and veggies.
The next day, after a hot, sweaty night of not much sleep, we knew we needed to keep moving to make it somewhere slightly cooler in the next few days, a spot we actually wanted to stay at for a few nights. And we figured there was at least one more hot night in our future. And because we were too tired to do a long day of trying to get somewhere, we opted to make some slower miles, just meandering along the river. We noticed that the trash had changed since we entered Argentina, from beer cans to wine bottles. idea what this place was. It almost seems like a restaurant or something like that. Kind of built right next to the dam, so there's the lake behind it. And it's just really pretty.
Beautiful. What if this was a house? It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's a crazy view, huh?
Looks like a fairly good hike.
Eventually, we called it a night right here. We found that being a little ways away from the water at night made for less bugs. This spot also got shade from the mountain much earlier than our camp the night before, and this thankfully made for a slightly less miserable night. In the morning, we hit pavement, and by about lunchtime, we were entering a small town, so we thought it would be a good time to try some of the Argentinian empanadas we had heard so much about.
Pollo. Fresita de pollo. Lechuga. Acá tenemos empanadas.
Sí, empanadas.
Sí, la estamos horneando.
Alright, so we made it into civilization and we saw this empanada place on the side of the road, and we've heard that we have to try empanadas in Argentina. So we stopped here. I just checked out the ovens, it looks amazing and I cannot wait to try it.
I can't talk right now. I'm trying all different sauces.
So good.
Fresh baked bread, baked here in a wood-fired oven. I'm happy.
The atmosphere here was perfect. I was really beginning to like Argentina.
They've arrived.
First one.
It's gonna be really hot.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Let me see the inside.
The dough is just perfect.
We just got done with our food. It was really good. And for a Coke, and I think we had 8 empanadas, and it was $3.96. So really cheap. And it was really good. And the people are very friendly. I'm happy.
So far, I think maybe it's due to some of the inflation in Argentina, which is rampant, but it doesn't seem that expensive here. Gas is expensive, $4 a gallon essentially, especially in the countryside and cities. It's a bit cheaper. But gas isn't too bad compared to Brazil and other places we've been.
Yep.
Food is really cheap. Wine is insanely
Way
cheap.
Yeah.
You know, it's so far really like in Argentina. It's like
Yeah.
it's got that little bit of European flair to it. People look like, oh, is that another traveler? Oh no, it's just a local, but he's wearing a baseball cap, and so maybe not European in a baseball cap sense, but a little bit of American, a little bit of European look. It's interesting. It's a real difference between the other countries you've been in.
Yeah. Still trying to figure it out, but so
Yeah.
far, really
Because we haven't
liking
been through that much of it. The hot
Yeah.
desert part of it was mostly
desert.
poor down there. Hot desert, jungle, not desert really, but it was like hot jungly sort of desert. I don't know how to describe it, but down there it was quite poor and not quite as distinctive. We're starting to get into the northern wine country, and we're not in a wealthy area at all, but it's somehow nice. In the center of the town back there, I don't even know what kind of flowers, but the entire little roundabouts
Yeah.
had gardens in them with people walking and sitting and talking.
Yeah.
And then the next street, there's another little garden and another little garden, and they're all kept up. And you go, okay, this is not a wealthy town. You can tell by the buildings and the homes.
Yeah.
But it's really neat to see, you know, people sweeping up trash and cleaning up, and it's a difference.
Yeah, it was a cool little places like this that we eat are some of my favorite things, that we stop and just get a little hint of all the families coming here on a Sunday, and everyone knows each other seemingly, so people that walk in are like, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, it's so good to see you. And everything is just being cooked over wood, so
Yeah.
super cool. With full bellies, we decided to head over a nearby pass in search of those cooler temps we had been dreaming of, and quickly found ourselves heading straight into a storm. It was actually pretty cozy and made for some stunning scenery, not to mention the temperature dropped, and one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, the smell of rain was in the air. This rain was so refreshing to every sense after the hot week we had had.
This is the first real rain we've driven in a long time. Like, even though we got a big car wash in Bolivia and another one since then, you know there's still a lot of salt somewhere in nooks and crannies. So this is kind of nice. Finally, that flooding kind of rain that when you drive and it sprays water in all those little spots. Love it.
We couldn't find anywhere to camp on the pass, but there was a national park not far ahead, and judging by the topos, we would still have some decent elevation under us there. At least enough to keep us cool at night.
Alright, we're in the Cardone National Park. Don't see any Cardones yet.
We're not in the Cardone area yet.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple, I think, off in the distance, but it's just been a crazy couple of days, from jungle to the hottest part of Argentina to a beautiful river and lake that reminds us of Arizona in summer. It was so hot, but it looked just like the Verde River.
Yeah.
Then a beautiful little town with amazing empanadas, up a canyon that turned into jungle, then desert, oddly above the jungle, with giant cardones, and then into that high mountain terrain that you saw a lot of in like Peru and Bolivia. And now we're kind of coming down the other side of this pass towards a town called Cachi, and I think we'll see a lot of giant cardones here. Amazing.
Yeah, and we'll be at a little bit higher elevation, so it should be a cooler night, but not cold, I don't think.
Lower than here is what we're hoping for, because
Yeah.
it's downright cold up here, but then higher than, of course, yesterday.
Yeah, so pretty excited for a cooler night.
Yeah.
I love the desert after rain. We picked a random wash and got lost. Well, we call it getting lost. We like to just wander, see where the road, or in this case wash, takes us. We find a random spot that is just that, totally random. We call it getting lost. It felt so good to finally have some cool weather, and we were in one of my favorite landscapes, the desert. It had been a very long time since we had been in a true desert. This is where we ended up for the night. Not a bad view. We made sure we were up and out of the wash, just in case it decided to rain more. But it didn't. After a full day of exploring, driving, and even a nice lunch, we were beat. We had a cold beer on the tailgate, enjoying the lovely weather and taking in our surroundings before making dinner. Then we crawled into bed, excited that we could actually enjoy being under our covers, and settled in to watch a movie, knowing tonight we could sleep. In the morning, we enjoyed just being lazy. It was nice not being cooked in bed the instant the sun was up. Check out this desert. I have to admit, we aren't the best at relaxing, so we decided to move a few miles down the road. We were loving this desert terrain and wanted to see more.
Well, we decided to move camps, and that's about all we did today. And now we're cooking dinner. And you have to check out, this camp is also cool. It reminds us of, I think, Utah. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say definitely Utah. It reminds me of the little canyons and stuff of like the Maze District and even Moab and Needles and stuff like that. But I just love that you can take a wash and drive it for a while and not see any tire tracks or any signs of anything, really. No cattle, no... The only sad part is there's no signs of deer or anything else. It seems like it's just totally devoid. But we're up, I don't know, 10,000 feet, so we're not as low as it looks, but it looks with the saguaro, which are actually Cardones, like you're really low and hot desert. But as you can see, we're wearing sweatshirts and it's pretty chilly, so it's kind of cool.
Sometimes I find myself in a place that just captures me. I wish I could find that feeling more often, something I'm working on. But this place captured me, reminded me to slow down, breathe deep, and just take it all in. Maybe because it seemed familiar, or because it made me feel small. Whatever it is, this feeling I have only ever experienced in nature. Living on the road full-time is not always like a vacation. It certainly isn't glamorous. It can be exhausting and frustrating and just plain hard. We are really just living normal life in an abnormal setting. Life's problems and stresses don't just magically disappear when we leave home. Some people may not understand why we choose to pursue discomfort. They see the way we live as failure. But this right here is one of the reasons we do it. This feeling I have right now. This is living. This is success to me. I am right here, right now, and I am happy. Actually happy. Not because of any achievements or something I bought, just simply happy. And I've never gotten that from anything other than nature.
We are making a feast tonight, or this afternoon,
Yeah.
as it were.
Not the red. Whoa, hold on. What you got going?
Real steak.
Argentina steak. You got veggies. Got more veggies. Some potatoes. So it's 6:50, crawling upstairs. Super nice because it's nice and cool. Beautiful view. And we're gonna watch something. What are we gonna watch?
Right now, a little Breaking Bad.
We're gonna watch a little Breaking Bad. And
What happened?
go to bed.
Dude's wife.
Looking at the map this morning.
Yeah, I love these maps. So looking at Overlander, Maps.me, Google Maps, all that's fine, but you can't see as much as you can at one time with a paper map. So this is the Nat Geo map for Argentina. So we're just kind of looking at it. We are right about here between Salta and then this little almost nothing town of Cachi. So we took this little dirt road up here over the mountain pass, and we're camped right here in the Parque of Cardones. So the saguaro cactus, but they're not saguaros, they're related but different. But they also seem different, by the way, don't you think, than the giant cardones of Baja?
Yeah, totally.
Those have like big, deep cuts and very big ribs on them. And I saw a few of these decomposing, and they have more like a saguaro style bone structure. I don't know what you call it for a plant. So we're trying to decide what to go. There's a lot of cool stuff over in here. This is all just nothingness. No towns, nothing really, all remote. And we really want to check this out. So we're right here, so we can easily just jump out into it. But then there's a wine region down here that's supposedly pretty. Purnamarca has some colored mountains behind the town, so it's not remote, but I've heard it's pretty and worth checking out. Jujuy looks pretty neat and sort of old school. And then Salta would be the last big town for quite a while. Because I don't think we're going to go to Calama. A lot of people have had issues there in Chile, so we'll probably just skip it, go to the Atacama, and cruise around. So we're trying to decide what to do and how best to, since we're in the middle of all of this, how from the middle do we go and hit all of it? So literally we're thinking about maybe a big circle, and then you end up back here, and then we cross in on this little highway. Most people take the 52. That's the main one that takes you right near the end of the Lagunas route. Most people just come down the Lagunas route. I think we're going to take the 51, and there's a road up in here that I guess you got to talk to the border guards, and if they think your truck's up for it, they'll like let you do it. So I assume that they'd probably let us, or I don't know if they really stop you or not, or if we just say, we're going to go anyways. So that's what we're trying to figure out. But looking at all this at once is now gives me some better idea of, okay, if we go out and come back, that would be backtracking quite a bit. So yeah, and it's funny, we're not in any real rush, but at the same time, I hate to just start randomly going out from this and then backtracking a ton. So I think we're going to do sort of a concentric circle that gets wider.
Thank you all for watching. Join us next time to see which way we decide to head. See you next week.
What you doing, Tim?
What's that?
What you doing?
Oh, looking out the view. Beautiful day we're having.
What's that sound?
Huh?
What's the sound?
What's that? The
Feel
river?
like- Yeah, there's some water sounds.
It sure is. Beautiful river. First one.
It's gonna be really hot.